my name is Dr. Cynthia Olivo, and I am the Associate Dean of Counseling and Student Success Services here at Pasadena City College. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the first annual Veterans Awards and Promotion Dinner. This is very exciting. I got really excited when I read first annual because we've come a long way with this program. And you all deserve it so much for the service you provided for our country, and we are very grateful for that. Thank you very much for your service. I have a cousin who is currently serving in Afghanistan, and on Sunday we were notified that he was injured. And so, today we're very relieved. He had surgery, and he is on his way to Germany. But it brings, for me, a reminder of what you all have experienced and the sacrifices that you have made for us. And it reminds me that we need to do our very best to serve you while you're here at PCC and as you move on to reach your educational goals. I'm very proud of all of you today. And we're going to continue to move ahead and make sure that we advance our priorities for our veterans here at PCC. Thank you very much. And I'd like to now introduce to you the American Legion Color Guard, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Post the colors. And salute. 2. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
About face. Forward. Up.
Good evening, everyone. This sounded really good when I put it on the program, so we'll see how well this works. I think we should sing. So I'd like you all to stand again, and with me, please, with me, let's sing the StarSpangled Banner. And to assist you so we don't pull a Christina on it, I have printed the words on the back, so you can follow along, and we'll sing. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And next, somebody who's been very committed to veterans and our Veterans Resource Center and all of the programs to support you, our president of our college, Dr. Mark Rocha.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Good evening to you all. Welcome on behalf of all the faculty, staff, and students of this great college. I welcome you tonight. I'm so glad that you could come. I asked for the privilege, and it is indeed a privilege, to spend a few minutes to offer some words of greeting. When we were doing the national anthem, I choked up for a moment because last summer, I have two sons, and we went to Washington, the Smithsonian, and they have, in the Smithsonian at that point, they have the actual flag that was flying over Baltimore Harbor when Francis Scott Key wrote those words that we just sang. So they mean a great deal to me, as they do to you. And of course, this has been the key to your service. All veteran students has been about defending that flag and the freedoms that it symbolizes. I first want to thank, we should give a great round of applause to Patty, to Cynthia, to Harold, to all of the good people on the faculty and staff who serve our veteran students. So let's give them a big round of applause. And we also thank all the friends and family who are here tonight, who are coming to support your students. And one of the things that I've learned, and you'll hear more from the president of our Board of Trustees, Bill Thompson, one of the things that I've learned being with you this year is how deeply committed this college is to our veteran students. And under the leadership of this Board of Trustees and under the leadership of Bill, we have made the explicit and conscious commitment to be the #1 California community college in terms of our service to our veteran students. And I think we made a big step forward this year, and we're going to do even more. And we do that, I remind us all, we do that not just because it's the right thing to do, because it indeed is the right thing to do. All of us here at the college, it's one of the greatest gifts you give us is the opportunity to serve you. So it's the right thing to do. But it's also gives you, our veteran students, another mission. You had a mission when you were veterans, when you served this country so well. And now we look at your accomplishments. Congratulations to all of you. They're amazing. You're our best and brightest students. But now as you go out and we celebrate tonight, we're giving you another mission. And that mission is all about the one that you served when you were in the service, and that is the mission of the American dream. That the idea that anyone, any American, if given the opportunity, can rise up and fulfill their potential. And that's what you have done. That's what you've proven. You're our role models for all of our students. And I'm so grateful to all of you for the work that you've done. Some of you we may not see again because you're going on to bigger and better things. I just thank you again, and God bless you all. So have a wonderful night. Thanks.
Next, I'd like to introduce the Reverend Al Cohen. Al is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy at Annapolis, and as was his father and his grandfather. Following his duty as a submarine officer, he became an ordained minister who has dedicated his life to social justice. He is the executive director of the Southern California Ecumenical Council, and he is a friend of PCCs and PCC veterans. He is here at every event that we need to have him here. He is always here. So thank you so much, Al.
Thank you, Patty. Let's stay seated, please, and let's pray. Dear God, we know that we have a lot to be thankful for tonight. We're surrounded by so many evidences of your care and love for us. Foremost in our thoughts and prayers tonight are these graduates whose attention to their studies we honor this evening. They have all been faithful not only in their service to their military commitments, but they've been faithful to their studies, which have brought them to this joy-filled celebration. Most of us have walked along similar paths. We know and we recognize from firsthand experience the persistence and dedication it takes to run the entire race and finish the course. We're proud of them, Lord, and for all the blessings you have bestowed upon them through these difficult days, and for providing rainbows at the end of the storm to assure us that you are always going to be with us. We're also grateful for the company of dedicated souls gathered here tonight who have surrounded these graduates with encouragement and sustenance, helping them to stay afloat even when the waters seem turbulent and deep. We thank you for the classmates and partners and family and friends, the PCC faculty and staff, and many others in the wider community who have contributed with helping hands along the way. And then, dear Lord, even though we often take you and all these blessings for granted, we do thank you for this food which has been so graciously provided for us tonight. We ask that you make us mindful of the hands that have brought to our table and our need to be thankful for our lives have fallen in such pleasant places. Make us truly grateful for all the blessings we have received down through the years and those which we are about to receive. May we be strengthened to meet each day's challenges with courage and gratitude. In your most loving name we pray. Amen.
Let's eat.
The president of our Board of Trustees. I'm very privileged to introduce to you Bill Thompson.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. I'm delighted to be here to represent the Board of Trustees at this event and to congratulate all of our veterans who are moving on to other endeavors, other challenges, the scholarships and all that goes with that. So we're really pleased to be a part of this. As I said when I was representing the Board of Trustees at the Memorial Day ceremonies a couple of weeks ago, my military experience is quite a bit different from many of you who are here. I did not serve in a war, nor in wartime, but I had an ROTC, Reserve Officers Training Corps obligation out of college, and I found myself in Fort Benning, Georgia, and transitioning with the 3rd Infantry Division from Fort Benning, Georgia to Germany. And so I ended up as a platoon leader in a engineering battalion, platoon in an engineering battalion in the 3rd Infantry Division. And so my job was to, as I quickly found out, was to keep up with the artillery and the infantry as we would play these war endeavors. We were at that time, it was our task that if the Soviet Union came across the border in Germany, we were to go and detonate bridges and set minefields and things like that. And so one of my immediate challenges was trying to explain to the tank commanders that my trucks and jeeps could not keep up crossing the terrain that they were trying to keep up with. So I had a little bit of a challenge on that. But as I said at Memorial Day, my military experience had a profound impact on me because it caused me to realize what life is about and to have a great appreciation for the military, certainly for the Army and the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force, and all that's come with that. It caused me to change my life and to get serious about it, and I believe it's been a pivotal event in my 2 years in allowing me to be where I am today and to accomplish the things I've accomplished. So I'm very grateful for that. But we're delighted to have you here at PCC, and we recognize that we have to do certain things that reach out to you, and we intend full well to do that. I think we've begun that process with the help of Cynthia and Patty and others, and we're going to keep on doing that. It's my dedication to you and that commitment to you to do exactly that. So we're delighted to be a part of this celebration, delighted to have you at Pasadena City College. We wish you the very best as you leave us, but please do not forget us. Come back and see us and be a part of the college and the alumni that are so tremendous in this community. So thank you very, very much for allowing me to be a part of this evening, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, President Thompson. And next, somebody who's very near and dear to all of the veterans, I introduce to you Doc Martin.
Well, it's certainly a pleasure for me to see so many of you here tonight, and this is kind of an auspicious occasion, and you don't get to use that word in a meaningful sense very often, but it is. Tonight we're going to induct Pasadena City College's first members into the National Veterans Honor Society, which is known as Salute. This prestigious association was created to honor active duty personnel and also veterans in higher education. There are only 3 colleges in California yet that have established a chapter, and Pasadena City College is the only community college out of the 106 or 1,600 or however many there are to have its own chapter as well. The Veterans Program Coordinator, Patricia, will present the candidates who will come forward individually once your names are called and form up over here. And I was asked this morning if that would be a problem, having them gather, and I'm thinking, what's the problem? I could have a formation, a column formation, even ranks, break it off, have an L-shaped or U-shaped formation, maybe a circle, maybe just a gaggle and a cluster. There's all kinds of options once you've been in the military to choose from. All right, so if you will, please name the individuals.
Petrosyan.
Okay, so wait, no, just form up. So you can be our base man.
I'm going to say the name of the microphone. So
Pardon?
I'm going to use the microphone to announce.
Okay.
Luis Pineda. Santos Martinez. Ricardo Martinez. Jeffrey Main. Liu Li Ming. Wei J. Lee. George B. Kujian. Tracy C. Harris. Ismael Gutierrez. Charles W. Hu. Christopher A. Chappelle. Alexander A. Butron. Joshua D. Black. Christian D. Bonzo. Darren Randall. Felipe C. Sanchez. Valentin C. Sanchez. Samantha Sandoval. Adam Cloyes. Mason Webb. Alexandra Nimri.
You've been invited to membership in the Salute Veterans National Honor Society. Its mission is to encourage and honor academic excellence and achievement in education, to foster personal and professional excellence as well, and to advance the values of society, and to promote the development of leadership ability and character in its members. Now, ignore the acronym for a moment and think of the verb to salute and its synonyms. To acknowledge, to congratulate, to hail, to pay homage, to pay respects, to pay tribute, to present arms, and to recognize. These are also some of the services that the PCC Veterans Resource Center does for our students. The students who are inducted into membership in the Salute Honor Society represent every slice of the American military, as well as the veterans pursuing higher education. As a member of Salute, Pasadena City College is symbolizing its commitment in recognizing and encouraging your academic success as student veterans. Before you are given the opportunity to take the Pledge of Membership, it's appropriate to mention the qualities that are expected of you to participate in our society, as well as its aims and ideals. We live in a country that often shortchanges many people when it comes to celebrating their accomplishments. It seems that a few sometimes get the lion's share of attention. But ritual, recognition, and rites of passage have always been cherished in societies, and they should be bestowed more plentifully, because in reality, there truly are many deserving of commendation. Tonight, we shall try to correct this situation a little by documenting and calling attention to the choices and the sacrifices that you have made. I will also elucidate upon the acronym SALUTE: service, academics, leadership, unity, tribute, and excellence. These create the foundation of our honor society. These virtues are not just nice-sounding slogans, for it is almost impossible to imagine a society without these virtues. S for service, most simply an unpaid act or acts of helpful activity. All of you served your country in a military capacity, but there's also the expectation that this has prepared you to serve your community in countless other ways. Citizenship is not a one-time tour of duty, and then you're done. Your country still needs you, only now in different capacities. Those of you not moving on can look forward to Salute membership service next year. A for academics. It's far more than knowing that the answer to number 72 is B, or even getting straight A's. Too often in the classroom we lose sight of the forest for the trees. In focusing on the trees, such as preparing for a test or doing homework, we miss the point that these are simply milestones on a road along a journey. Let's say we eliminated all tests and formal grading. There would still be academics. While we are forced, for the moment, to emphasize grade point average in considering your induction, we should not blind ourselves to what grades are simply the symbol of, and that is the love and pursuit of learning, whether in a classroom or elsewhere throughout life. L, leadership, to lead others, exists at many levels and is often a lonely pursuit. The first person in the family to go to college leads the way for siblings and cousins to follow. Teachers, mentors, tutors, religious persons, and others lead us out of darkness and into light. Leadership is always needed, and to do so is a substantive charge to each of its members in the society. U for unity. It's combining or joining separate things or entities to form a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. The gift of life that we enjoy is something that we are all in together. Poet John Donne said it most simply, and I think best: no man, woman is an island, entirely unto him or herself. T for tribute. Tribute, the evidence of good, something that is indicative of value, benefit, good quality in somebody. It is earned and paid. We must strive to be in reality what we wish to appear to others. We need to embody what we wish to see in others. By demonstrating the highest virtues, and my Boots to Books class syllabus spells these out. We may hope to prove by example the values and good qualities in ourselves that earn this tribute. E for excellence, the quality that is unusually good or surpasses ordinary standards. It's also an aimed-for standard of performance. Excellence in big things usually develops from practicing the habit in smaller matters. In the military, one would be encouraged to excel when told to do your best. Each of these characteristics comprising the word salute is the sum of many decisions and embody a positive attitude backed by purpose, effort, and talent. In recognition of their accomplishments and their acceptance of membership in Salute, we will have new members take the oath of induction, present each Salute member with a medallion or challenge coin, which signifies both appreciation and their membership. For us tonight, it's also a symbol of the ideals upon which Salute has been founded. And lastly, before the evening is over, we'll have you sign the chapter's Ledger of Honor. Inductees, please repeat after me. I promise to uphold the ideals. And further the aims of Salute. Believing that by so doing, I shall increase my value to my college and my community. As your names are called, will you please step forward, receive your certificate and coin, and then return to the formation here. We're going to call the names again. I am. All right.
George Kushian.
He has small hands.
Ricardo Martinez. Adam Cloys.
Adam's studying for a final.
Okay. Alexandra Nimri. I'm not sure if she's here now. Okay. Ishmael
He's studying with Adam.
Ishmael Gutierrez. Charles Hugh. Jeffrey Main. Santos Martinez. Samantha Sandoval. Felipe Sanchez. Mesam Webe. Christopher Chappelle. Christian Bauzo. Joshua Dean Black. Tracy Cooper Harris. Wei Jai Lee. Louis Lai Ming. Harai Petrosyan. Darren Randall. And Valentin Sanchez. Round of applause for everybody. Who did I miss?
Come on down.
Did I miss anyone? Oh, I'm so sorry. Come on up. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Alexander Putron.
Yes.
One more? Oh, one more.
Go ahead. Luis Pineda, yes, I'm sorry. I guess they're all very nervous. Thank you so much and congratulations. We can pick up your certificates over by the log where you'll be signing into the log. Thank you.
Okay. For those of you that are curious, the issuance of a challenge coin or coin for a unit is, it has a long tradition, which I think is urban myth, so I'm not going to perpetuate it. But I will mention that it does signify membership and communion between brothers and sisters that are in an organization together. And it's probably most useful when you challenge somebody with it, and if they don't have it, they have to buy you a drink. If they do have the coin, you have to buy them a drink. So this is one of the less serious aspects of it, but they are valued items. It's not just a token gift by any means. All right, thank you and congratulations.
So next we're going to be giving out scholarships, and I wanted to say that we're very honored this year. We put out a call out to the PCC community and our military and veterans community, and we were so blessed to have so many come forth and donate towards scholarships for this year. And we were able to give out 8 scholarships, so we're very, very excited and very proud of all the scholarship recipients. We are going to be giving out 6 scholarships, and the last scholarship will be given out, the Warren Altoonian scholarship will be given out after the Compass Awards. So I want to call forward Trevor Juarez. Trevor is a Marine. He's had multiple tours in Iraq. He's following up on his combat engineering experience by becoming an electrician, and he plans to use the more enlightened view of life he's gained from his service and help to give back by creative, constructive change for a good life, not only for himself but for others. Congratulations. James Butcher. James is a former Marine, a combat veteran. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and while not turned on in high school, and having been a skilled and successful automotive technician, he now has set his sights on a 4-year degree in engineering. And James also just married the best woman in the world. Cameron White. Cameron, also a Marine, served in Iraq on several tours. Cameron follows many paths to achieve his personal goals. He's active with veterans as well as spiritual groups, is the vice president with the Associated Students, to name just a few, and he's working towards an eventual doctorate in astronomy with the intention of teaching and doing research. So congratulations. Benjamin Gauthier Shannon. Like many tonight, Ben is the first in his family to pursue higher education. He too was a sailor, and perhaps uniquely he can trace his family's military service to the nation, including his disabled father, who's a Vietnam veteran, and all the way back to the Revolutionary War. And his goals include becoming a radiology technician and working for the VA. And last but not least, Magdalena Sanchez. Thanks to her Navy service for helping her gain opportunities and experiences she otherwise would never have. And like many veterans, the transition from active duty to civilian into student was a challenging one, but nevertheless, she's been active with the Veterans Club, and she's now transferring to San Diego State and plans a career in the State Department. Next, Doc Martin's going to come back up, and he's going to be giving the first annual Compass Awards. And I'll let him explain what those are and what they're about as soon as he gets up here.
All right, well, as many people in the room know, but some of you may not know, I teach a transition course under the counseling program, and it's often referred to as boots to books, meaning that you're making the transition there from more of a military frame of reference to a more civilian frame of reference. Not that the armed forces don't read books, I know they do. But at any rate, there are a few individuals I'd like to commend more, but just a few I want to call attention to this evening. One student from a prior class, and that's Josh Miller. So if Josh Miller could come up here. Josh, you're the first recipient of Compass from the class. So, solid gold. Maybe this. An actual little compass. It says never give up. PCC, boots to books. So, you're the first one. Yeah, I'm old school. We don't believe in GPS. Right? Yeah, wrong exits. Anyway, but at any rate, Josh was in a class a couple semesters ago, and he made quite an impression in terms of overall commitment and evaluation of school and the program, and the application of himself to the goals of the class. So it made quite an impression. Like most things in life, you get out of what you put into it. He put a lot into it, and it was apparent that he got a lot out of the class, and I wanted to commend his efforts for that. Another student in another class, he's not here tonight unless he's low-crawled in and I didn't see him, and that's Rudy Romero. Are you out there? He's probably downrange policing up brass. Anyway, I know Rudy fairly well. I don't think he'd mind me mentioning a few things about him. On the first day of class, I'm sort of at a lectern podium kind of situation, and he's sitting like almost up against the podium, a little awkward, and staring straight ahead. And he had kind of an urban sombrero of some kind, dark glasses, kind of scraggly hair, and beard, and I mentioned the dark glasses, and usually you run into somebody like this, and they tell you they're doing that for a part. But I could see he was, a little playing it really close to the vest. After class, he gave me a 2-page list of all the constraints and restrictions that he had in terms of being a student in the class. And it was pretty imposing, and he didn't say anything, he just handed me the list. That was basically it. And I would say in the course of 5 to 6 weeks, I saw him transform from this guy who just looked really isolated and self-isolated and distant. Suddenly he became this guy who now is sitting not in the seat any longer, but sitting on the back of the chair and facing everybody else in the room, in the class, and very outspoken, very animated, perhaps too outspoken at times, and but an amazing transformation in a relatively short period of time. So whatever was going on in there resonated with him quite well, and so he was quite remarkable, and I also wanted to recognize him tonight. But in very short order, the sunglasses were gone, certainly the urban sombrero was laid to rest somewhere. got a haircut, got a shave, he looked like a different person completely. I was quite impressed, to say the least. All right, well, at this moment, I'd also like to call up Raymond Menyavar. And I know this comes as, yeah. Do not heckle my Compass awardees. Ray, it gives me pleasure to give this to you. I feel you've also come a long way. Not as far as Rudy. You don't want to come that far. You don't want to start that far back. But Ray, I think, has really invested himself and really applied himself, made deliberate efforts and to benefit from education. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
There are a couple other individuals that are not here this evening, and I really not as comfortable talking about them in their absence, so I'll pass over them for the moment. At this moment, I'd like to call up Aaron Herbal. Aaron hasn't done too much. Really can't say anything positive, but he is the tallest student we've had, and I feel that should be recognized. And anyway, no. All seriousness aside, Aaron moved.
No seriousness.
Well, that too. All right. Okay.
You want me to talk for you?
No, I don't trust you. No, Aaron has come quite a ways, not just since he started here, but from where he was a few years ago. And what, you moved like 20 times?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, and at any rate, but I think he's on a good path, and he again is another person that's definitely applying himself. And I just found out recently he's going to be a father. So. The symbolism behind these compasses, it's also relates to one of the textbooks that we use called On Course. And the idea is to set up a target, a goal. In the military, or at least in the Army, I don't know about the Marine Corps, I don't think they can read maps, but at least in the Army, you take a compass and you do what's called shooting an azimuth. You'd set your sight on something. At least no one ever got hurt shooting an azimuth. So, but it symbolizes the idea that without some directionality and without remaining true to that course, one can get stuck in time, one can get lost, and it's impossible to be successful otherwise, unless you win the lottery, and I've taken enough statistics to know that none of you in this room are ever going to win the lottery, okay? At any rate, that being said, it's critical, and in this class, we try to give people the skills, the bearings, and hopefully they will follow a course which will get them to their destination, and many of the students in here tonight are doing exactly that. The last person that I do want to pay attention to with one of these awards is Anvi Dang. And no, Marshall, it's not because he's the shortest student that was ever in Boots to Books. All right, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Wish you would have told me to serve you.
Why? At any rate, he said he wished I had told him earlier that he was going to receive that. Dang mentioned the other night that 5 years ago, no one would recognize him from where he is today in terms of changes that he's made in his life. He's come a long way, and I think a guy coming over from China and being plunked down in Brooklyn at the age of 14, that alone ought to get him an award and a scholarship and a few other things. So at any rate, he's a former Marine, he's overcome a lot of adversity and struggles, but shows a real strong dedication. My class, in every syllabus, it says for a student to ask themselves, what are you going to do to make this a better class? And Maureen, you demonstrate that every week and make it a better class. And so I salute you. All right. Okay, I see a little activity back there. Are you guys trying to tell me something, or? Hey, look, I can see Vietnam from my backyard, okay? So, at any rate, I apologize, Dang. I, of anyone, should know the difference between China and Vietnam. China was R&R, Vietnam was why I needed R&R. I think I got it. All right, so I'm particularly pleased to have had the opportunity that was given me here at PCC to teach this class. Life is very much about paying it back, and it gives me a chance to do that. I visit, and some of us have visited a number of community colleges where we tried to get them and inspire them to teach similar classes and help their veterans out, and it's not happening. Our former governor had pledged that every community college in the state would have a Boots to Books, a transition course. There are over 100 that don't. It's a very small handful that do. And I think it's very, very important. It's also not just the fact that one is studying things which may be useful and should be helpful practically and in the long term, but also it's a chance to be in a class with all other veterans. Last semester, at 90% of the students in the class had served in either Iraq or Afghanistan or both countries. And so when you're coming home, it's extremely important to realize you're not coming home alone and that you're on a trip, another mission now, but you're in good company. And I think that's pivotal for many people. And I wish the other community colleges could do as fine a job as PCC. And I'm not just trying to suck up because the president of the board is here. It's a truth, and that I'm proud to be able to praise the campus for that. If they didn't do something right, I wouldn't say otherwise. So, at any rate, thank you very much for the privilege, men and women. I've enjoyed my time with you and continue to do so.
Next, I'd like to introduce Arthur Borgquist, and he is from the command post, VFW Post 7799, and he's also a PCC graduate, and he's also a Vietnam veteran, and I will let him come on up and present our last scholarship.
It is truly an honor for me to be here this evening. And I do wish to say that the Boots to Books class makes this school, this college, a far better school. Thank you, Doc Martin. Thank you. And I say that because in 1970, when I graduated from here, there was no such thing at all. There was no veterans resource at all. There was nothing like that. Besides the fact I get lost when I walk around this campus. It's not the same. But I want to give out this scholarship award this evening. And I'm going to give out the Warren Altoonian Scholarship Award. And I want to acknowledge the Altoonian family who's here this evening, seated right over here. His wife, Liz, his daughter, I always called her a kid, but her name is Professor Alexis Altoonian at Pasadena City College. And the son, Pasadena City College assistant coach, Gregory Altoonian. And Brother Armando Altoonian. and his wife Andy. All of those are Altoonian families. Also in attendance this evening, there are several Pasadena City College graduates, a long time ago, and they're Vietnam veterans or Vietnam era veterans, and I wanted them to raise their hand. I'm talking about Steve Magallanes, Ralph Saldana, Bob Donahue, Alan Shin, Andy Alba. Please, gentlemen, raise your hand. Warren Altoonian was a Pasadena Unified educator for 38 years, as well as a 10-year Pasadena City College soccer coach. Coach Altoonian played football at Pasadena High School, at Pasadena City College, Long Beach State, where he got his Bachelor of Arts degree and his Master of Arts degree in physical education. And the last time I saw him was just several weeks ago. He stood up and he hugged me, and then he walked me out as his two adult kids, PCC Professor Alexis and PCC Coach Greg Altoonian, were at his side. And Warren passed to the Lord on Good Friday some weeks ago. And I also want you to know that Warren Altoonian was truly a patriotic American. And I was so honored and respected to know him. And he loved all of us veterans, all of us who served. So I'm honored tonight to present the Warren Altoonian Veteran Scholarship Award. And I'm going to give this to a veteran who served in the Army, in Iraq, and in Korea, still serving in the National Guard, where he's a staff sergeant. He's been active in the Veterans Club while maintaining a high GPA and will be transferring to UCLA this fall. He also plans to use his skills on behalf of our country in international relations. I will present the Warren Altoonian Scholarship for Academic Achievement to George Kushian. Come here, please. I must tell you another story here too, because I met this young man some time ago on campus, the last couple of weeks. I spotted him, and I said, "What are you doing wearing that Brooklyn Dodger hat for?" You know, who wears a Brooklyn Dodger hat? He laughed and said, "Well, I wear it, you know." No one's worn a Brooklyn Dodger hat here except me 43 years ago. So I just wanted to say thank you all for what you do for the veterans. And remember, all gave some gave all. And thank you. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.